Picture this. You finish a soda, look at the empty plastic bottle in your hand, and instead of walking to a recycling bin, you just fire it into space. Problem solved. No more overflowing landfills. No more sea turtles choking on six-pack rings. Just launch all of humanity's plastic garbage into the stars and done. It sounds almost genius. Space is practically infinite, right? Surely it won't mind a few million plastic bags. But hold on, before we turn Earth into one giant trash-launching cannon. Let's slow down and ask, what would really happen if we try to throw all our plastic into space? Let's find out. The plastic problem. First, let's understand the mess we're dealing with. Right now, humans produce over 400 million tons of plastic every year. That's a combined weight of every living human on Earth times 50. And the crazy part? Most of it isn't recycled. It either piles up in landfills or ends up in the ocean, where it takes hundreds of years to break down into smaller and smaller bits called microplastics. By now, microplastics have been found in fish, in the deepest parts of the ocean, in Arctic snow, and even in our own bloodstreams. Yikes! So yeah, people dream up big fixes. Some imagine giant ocean cleaning robots. Others suggest melting it all down. But then there's the boldest idea of them all. Why not just launch the stuff into space? At first glance, it makes a weird kind of sense. Plastic is practically indestructible here on Earth, but out there, the sun could burn it. Space is vast enough to swallow it. We'd never have to deal with it again. Perfect plan? Well, not quite. Step 1, getting plastic off Earth. Here's the first obstacle. Throwing something into space isn't like tossing it over a fence. To escape Earth's gravity, you need to reach a speed of about 25,000 miles per hour. That's faster than any bullet ever fired. And the only way we can do that is with rockets. Big, fuel-guzzling, insanely expensive rockets. Even with the most advanced reusable rockets today, the cost to launch a single kilogram into orbit is still thousands of dollars. Now let's scale that up. Remember those 400 million tons of plastic we make every year? If we wanted to launch just a single year's worth of plastic into orbit, the cost would be in the trillions of dollars. That's more than a yearly budget of every government on Earth combined. We literally bankrupt the planet just trying to clean it. And that's just 1 year's worth. What about the mountains of plastic already sitting in landfills? We need rocket fleets so massive they make NASA look like a lemonade stand. Step 2, rocket failures. But okay, let's pretend money isn't a problem. Let's say some trillionaire decides to fund Project Trash to Space. We got the rockets, we've got the plastic, and we're ready to launch. Here's the catch. Rockets sometimes explode. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's spectacular. Now imagine a rocket loaded with nothing but tightly packed plastic garbage. Halfway up, boom. Plastic confetti rains down over hundreds of miles. Instead of saving the planet, we just decorated the countryside with flaming soda bottles and melted shopping bags. And it gets worse. A rocket explosion in the upper atmosphere wouldn't just rain down plastic. Tiny particles could spread out and linger, affecting the climate or even creating plastic dust clouds in the sky. So much for a cleanup solution. Step 3, where do we put it? All right, fine. Let's imagine the rockets actually work. No explosions, no disasters. We get the plastic into space. Now what? Option 1, put it in orbit around Earth. Seems simple, right? Just let it float up there. But space around Earth is already crowded with satellites, telescopes, and space stations. Even a paint chip flying at orbital speeds can punch a hole in a spacecraft. Now imagine millions of plastic bags zooming around at 17,000 miles per hour. We'd basically turn Earth into a giant garbage blender. Satellites would be shredded. GPS gone. Weather forecasting gone. Astronauts? Forget it. They'd be dodging forks and shampoo bottles like extras in an action movie. So maybe orbit isn't such a good idea. Option 2, throw it into the sun. The sun is the ultimate incinerator. Surely it can handle a few million tons of plastic. But here's the plot twist. It's actually really hard to hit the sun. Because Earth is orbiting at about 67,000 miles per hour, Anything we launch is moving sideways really, really fast. To fall into sun, you'd have to cancel out all that sideways speed, which takes even more energy than just escaping into deep space. Ironically, shooting trash out of the solar system is easier than aiming it at the sun. Okay, then option 3, deep space. We just launched the plastic on a one-way trip past Pluto, never to be seen again. Problem solved. Except rockets powerful enough to fling millions of tons into interstellar space don't exist yet. And even if they did, one small mistake means we accidentally dump garbage on Mars, or worse, launch it on a collision course back toward Earth a few thousand years later. Imagine future humans looking up at the night sky and seeing the return of a giant plastic asteroid made of our old toothbrushes. Not exactly the legacy we want to leave behind. The big reveal. So here's the shocking truth. Throwing plastic into space doesn't solve our problem. It just moves it around at an insane cost with insane risks. And if we're being honest, polluting the galaxy because we couldn't figure out recycling feels like the ultimate cosmic embarrassment. Can you imagine aliens discovering our solar system and going, wow, these humans littered their own orbit with sandwich wrappers? Yeah, not a great first impression. The real fix. So if space isn't our dumpster, what can we do? The answer isn't as flashy, but it's actually doable. Step 1, make less plastic in the first place. Step 2, invent better stuff, materials that break down naturally or can be reused over and over. And step 3, clean up the plastic we already have. Scientists are already experimenting with plastic-eating bacteria, ocean cleaning machines, and biodegradable alternatives. It's not as dramatic as launching rockets full of garbage into the sun, but it's smarter, safer, and a lot cheaper. Wrap up. So, what if we threw all our plastic into space? It would cost trillions, risk catastrophic rocket failures, create deadly space junk, and maybe even doom our satellites. Space is big, yes, but it's not our cosmic trash can. If anything, this thought experiment shows us something important. The only place we can realistically deal with our mess is right here on Earth. We've only got one planet. Maybe it's time we stop trying to launch our problems away and start solving them at home. Thanks for sticking around, explorers. If you enjoyed this journey into what if science, make sure to hit that like button, drop your own wild what if ideas in the comments, and subscribe for more strange, smart, and slightly ridiculous adventures into science and imagination.